Now that round two of the 4 day series has been completed, I can just sum up give you guys a quick summary of everything that happened in the second round. Ultimately, I'm going to be trying to do some interviews going forward with every single, I would say, top performer from every round. I'm going to try to get as many as possible on the show. So let me just go through the results quickly before we get started, guys. And I can give it to you that the Rocks and Province obviously drew their match. There were some top performers in that match, of course. Actually, Peter Malan actually scored a century in this particular match on the final day, of course, to make sure that obviously it ended in a draw. But it was going towards a draw since day three. I was actually there in Paul watching it go towards a draw and end up in a draw. Sean van Berg also was very excellent in his performance as well. I'm taking a fifer. Then we had the Titans and the Dolphins. The match was drawn there too. Sarel Eerwe, of course, standing out in that particular match as well. And then we had two massive wins. One from the Lions versus the Warriors. The Lions completely destroyed the Warriors in innings and 20 runs. And then we end off with the Knights. The Knights taking a 10-wicket win against Northwest Dragon. Now we've got one of the star performers on the show with us today. So I'm going to be bringing Patrick Kruger on. We're going to have a chat with him, catch up with him as well. I just want to get to know more about how his career has gone so far up to this point, but particularly his performance in this particular match, because 192 is not very easy, and to end up not out on 192 is not an easy feat for anybody. So it's a really interesting for me to be able to talk to him and get some insight for all of you guys out there as well that want some tips. If you're a professional cricketer or a young cricketer looking for some tips as well, I think this will be an excellent interview for that. But before we get going, before we get started, please go to the link in the description, click on the link and go directly to cricketfanaticsmag.com for our monthly magazine. It's 100% free into your inbox every single month, every single batch issue, including this latest edition. Then you can also go to the subscribe button on this particular video. Go click subscribe, click the notification bell as well for all future videos. Smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Get involved in the comment section if you want to ask Patrick any questions. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Good evening, guys, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show, exclusive interview with Patrick Kruger as well. I'm your host, Khalid. This is Patrick with me today. And today we're going to just be talking to him about his performance and some of his performances throughout his career, including his start to the season, because the start of the season for you has been excellent, Patrick, especially with the Knights obviously lifting the T20 knockout trophy. And then in your first match in the 4-day series for the season, you score a massive 192. So let's just catch up with you quickly. First, let's start with the Knights, because the Knights look like a completely different team to what they were a couple of seasons ago. You're looking like a dangerous team in every format. So can you give me some insight on how much obviously Alan Donald coming into the system as well has helped you guys with your mentality and your approach to cricket, etc.?
Yeah, no, definitely. We're a young team and we are hungry. We're hungry to do well. Obviously, under the leadership of Pite and Alan Donald, JP, uh, they just come with different ideas and different ways on how we want to play our cricket. And we're obviously hungry to win competitions. So we were lucky enough to win the T20 comp. We had set like game plans and all that, and how we're gonna win the games and stuff. And it went our way, luckily.
Yeah, the switch for you. I want to know that, because it's going from T20 cricket into 4-day cricket. It's like a completely different format and mentality. How do you manage to do that? Because there are some players that are struggling to make that switch. There's a lot of guys that we know. normally score well at the beginning of the season and score big, but they seem to be struggling for runs. And a lot of the youngsters too that are trying to make the transition is from they first had to go from T20 cricket, where South Africans in general, it seems like they want to play an attacking brand of T20 cricket and no fear type of brand. And then from there going into 4-day cricket now, it's obviously completely different format. So
Definitely.
what's your thoughts on that?
The thing is, the coaches told me not to change my game, even for the T20. Just obviously not being too reckless. Obviously, T20 cricket, you wanna entertain and hit sixes and all that, but we like we all mature enough, like playing at this level. But for me, the thing that helped me was like training in specific ways, like training who you're gonna play against, what you're gonna get on the day. So that what helped me a lot. But this weekend, I actually wasn't supposed to play. Some guys were sick, and then the day of the game, uh, captain just said, "Are you ready to play?" And lucky for me, like the week going into the game, I did my prep and all that things according to how I want to play. And lucky enough, I had Pike at the crease helping me through my innings or most of my innings. So I think that helped me like in a big way. He kept me calm. He always reminded me to play my game. Uh, so I was striking at like 100 strike rate my whole innings. So it was actually like quick. It wasn't like a 4-day innings.
Yeah.
So I also think the bowlers bowled in our favor. They didn't hit the wicket really. Uh, like our bowlers got a lot out of the wicket. Yeah, so I just feel like their bowlers weren't really on their straps.
Yeah, I mean, you ended up with 192 of 216 balls with 22 fours, four sixes, and a strike rate of 88.88. That's incredible in the longer format. I want to ask you about that particular moment because where you spoke about you didn't weren't supposed to play the game, and then suddenly your captain's like, look here, or your coach said you're going to play. We see players having to do that a lot recently. I
Yes.
mean, for example, a good example is maybe you can see in the World Cup when certain players were all of a sudden when certain players weren't available, and all of a sudden you have to play on the day and get your mind ready. What do you do? What sort of techniques can you give, or what sort of advice could you give to guys to get that right?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's different for a lot of guys, I feel. But like I said, a week going into the game, I already did my prep. So I think uh, the only thing I can tell guys is always be ready. Like it doesn't mean you're not gonna play. You don't have to train
Mm,
or train specifically for the game. Like an injury can happen in it at warm ups and then you have to play. So you still have to train like you're gonna play. So for me, it was like okay, the first game I didn't play, so maybe I'll get a chance the second game. So I trained so like I trained the way I was gonna play, and
yeah,
then I got the knot on the day, and then obviously I got that big one,
yeah.
and it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's excellent. I want to ask you about Pite as well because you mentioned you guys put on a massive partnership in the middle as well. So when when you have a captain of his caliber that has been in the system for so long, what have you learned from him according to you? Because you're an all-rounder, so batting is a completely different situation with regards to you, with for you than I would say for a top order maybe opening batter in a
Yeah.
4-day game. So from your perspective, what did Pat talk to you about? What have you learned from the senior guys in the team, especially like someone like Pat van Boolen?
Yes, he's an unbelievable leader. He's hard. He always want to win and stuff. So for me, we are totally different players. So for me, it's a bit tough. I found it tough, like learning like how to play from players like that because I'm a different type of player.
Hmm.
But the only I learned a lot mentally from him. He has a strong mind. So I wouldn't say I learned like technique stuff and cricket and how I'm gonna play from him, but a lot of mindset things
Mm.
because he has a strong mind. So while we were batting, he was just there was a time I was telling him. it's my first game. I have to take it easy and just like play myself in, rotate. And he was like, play your game. Because in the warm up games, we like play different games, man, because you don't have pressure or anything. So he
Yeah.
just told me, play the way you're gonna play. And coming from the captain, it's just like it takes so much weight off your shoulders, and it just frees yourself up, and then after that, I just started like playing my game, and everything just started flowing.
Hmm. And with the ball, I mean, 3 for 12, 1 for 16. I mean, you have to be ready for that too. I mean,
Uh,
that's also something when you all of us bowling is something I feel that you need to be a little bit more prepared for rhythm, etc.
that's,
Especially in 4-day cricket. But you just hit the ground running with regards to that too. I mean, you only bowled in the first innings, you only bowled 4.2 overs and 3 for 16. So that's incredible return. Give me some tips on your bowling and what went through your mind with regards to your bowling.
like I work on in all season. I really worked hard on my bowling because I want to be an all rounder.
Mm.
So I did a lot of work on my bowling, bowled, like worked on a lot of drills with Alan. He took me through a lot of things. So we obviously lost Neelan because he was sick. So uh, we were one bowler down. So obviously I had to bowl on the day, and
Mm.
yeah, it just went my way. So we were a bowler down on the day, but luckily for me, everything went my way. Just one of that
So,
game.
yeah. So staying on your bowling because and a little bit more maybe on mentality as well. We have a question in the chat from Trevor
Yes.
Dixon. He says thought on Alan Donald as on his coaching, and can you give me maybe some insight of what you learned from him, particularly with your bowling as well, and what you've seen him do with the young bowlers in the team as well. Like for example, you've got a young bowler in your team as well. So young bowlers in your team like Gerald Coetzee, who's up and coming
Yes.
quick as well.
Yeah. Another thing is like the thing with Gerald is he's like a Alan Donald type bowler. So for me to learn from Alan is a bit tough because I'm not
Yeah.
that type of bowler. You see. So but he taught me a lot of like technical stuff, like how to get through my action, how to bowl quicker, like small twitches to my action, to my run up, and just stuff like that. But I think if you must ask Gerald this question, he will answer it better because
Yeah.
like you see, like they similar type of bowlers, like they quick,
Mm.
they aggressive, and stuff like that. But he just like teaches me maybe to how to swing the ball, how to reverse swing the ball, how to bowl your bumper, such things like technical things. But he's been awesome in that, and our bowlers have been hitting their straps
Mm.
very well.
Does he often use like lessons because obviously he's a legend. You're looking at him, you look up to him. He's a South African legend.
Yeah,
Does he often use stories from the past to try and teach you guys
yes.
lessons, etc.?
Like he would always speak of Test cricket and how we must play Test cricket and how it used to be when he was playing, especially to our bowlers. Uh, it came up actually in this game, so we were in two minds on if we're gonna bat again or let them follow on.
Mm.
And then he said, in a Test match, you don't wanna bat again in that position. You go out and you bowl. And we went out and we bowled, and then we bowled them out again. So he always brings up stories of playing in Australia and playing here and how it used to be. So he always like reminds us on how
Mm.
Test cricket must be and how it must be played.
So, okay, you are still young, but I mean, you were also once a young player playing 4-day cricket and or professional cricket. I would say. Is there any tips you can give to the youngsters out there that are currently maybe struggling to make the transition into 4-day cricket? Because a lot of under 19 guys, for example, they didn't get a lot of opportunity to play the longer format. Is there maybe any advice you can give them? And this is maybe their first time out there.
Uh, yeah, it's tough. Um, like I said, everyone's different players. Like I would I would approach 4-day cricket different to other player. But there's a lot of things guys do these days. Coaches teaching the players, but I just I would just tell the guys to always play the way they play. Doesn't matter what format it is. Obviously, you have to. You see, for the cricket, you have to pipe down a bit more controlled stuff like that. But I just feel like you don't have to change anything. You just play the way you play. You back yourself. You know you're good enough. So I just feel like going from one day cricket to 4-day cricket is not a big shift. It's just more, how can I say, a controlled innings
Patience.
for batters, more patience. We have more time, so it's easier. It's not like T20 cricket, your ball's running out quickly. You have to score at this rate and that rate. So 4-day cricket's actually a easier version, and you have less pressure on you. You can
Mhm.
get 200 or 300 balls. No one cares. Gun innings. So I just feel like you don't have to change the way you play. Just back yourself and just do what you always do. Like everyone has different things that work for them. I have different things that work for me on the day. You will have different things that work for you, same and other guys will have different things. So for me, I feel it's a bit tough to give advice to other players because some
Mhm.
players you will tell them something and it will be maybe it won't work for me, but let me try it. So that's why I would rather watch you and then see what you do and then maybe try and help you in that way.
Mhm.
So yeah, it can go, you can do it in a lot of ways. But just
Yeah.
back yourself and play your game. Like
Yeah.
play the way you want to play. That's all I can tell young players. Because sometimes coaches tell you to play this way, your technique is wrong, this and this. What works for you, it works. Don't change too much things, especially as a young cricketer. Because I made that mistake when I just started playing franchise cricket. I forgot about my game. So I started playing someone else's game. And for
Mm.
2 years, I struggled. And
Yeah.
then I just went back to how I saw things and play the ball on merit. So that's all I have to say to a young guy.
Yeah.
I am still young. I am still learning and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
ask me in another 3 years this question, and maybe I'll have more answers. But
I,
that's all I can
I
say
don't
now.
think you realize that that was golden what you said, because a lot of youngsters don't actually realize that it's a simple advice that actually works. I've seen it in so many occasions talking to young cricketers. They try to overcomplicate their game or listen to too
Mm.
many people. And a lot of the
Yes.
young cricketers that have done it successfully have always said, you know what, I need to trust my game, trust myself, and know that in 4-day cricket you have time. You don't need to rush it. It's not like you're going to run out of balls or whatever the case may be. So just take your time. It's excellent advice, Patrick. I think it's a nice way to end off the stream and end off this interview. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Patrick, thanks a lot for coming on the show. I hope we can chat again sometime, maybe a
Yes.
little bit later in
Anytime.
the season,
Anytime.
whenever you have time. But to all the guys out there, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine. The link is in the description as well as on the eye in the top right of the screen. It's 100% free, all editions. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment in the comment section. Share this with all your friends and family. I want to ask Patrick to also share it with his friends and family too. Maybe we can get some extra subscribers on the channel.
Okay.
So click that notification bell as well for all future videos. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow with another exclusive interview as well as a daily show. Take care. Good luck for the rest of the season, Patrick.
Yes, man. Thank you.